The summer was relatively quiet for financial markets. In fact, all the volatility was concentrated on FX, especially on the euro-dollar. But elsewhere, the summer was relatively quiet. During the summer, the dollar was weak, extremely weak, compared to our anticipations. In fact, we have seen no changes at all in terms of spreads, meaning that the fundamentals are unchanged comparing the US to Europe. Nevertheless, the political factor is dominating everything, and because the Trump administration is weak, the markets anticipate nothing in terms of fiscal policy. Here we disagree. We think that the Trump administration will deliver something before year-end, but the markets believe that fiscal policy will not be a positive factor for the dollar, and they do expect now that the Fed will do nothing in terms of tightening. We continue to believe that the Fed will deliver a normalization of its monetary policy with 3 hikes next year in terms of interest rates, and that the Fed will decrease the total balance sheet, and we could get some announcement about that in the near weeks. Concerning the ECB, we think that in fact the ECB will be extremely cautious when it will decide to shrink its quantitative easing. And we think that nothing will change in terms of interest rate before 2019 at best. To sum up, we think that the markets are too negative concerning the dollar, and we stick to our views that in the future, fundamentals will justify a rising dollar. We stick to our targets of 1.13 for 3 months and 1.10 for 12 months. One should not exaggerate the economic consequences of the strong euro or the weak dollar. In fact, we need to think in terms of trade-weighted currency. So in terms of effective exchange rate, the euro is stronger by 4% and the dollar is weaker by 6%. So by itself, it's not a big deal. The consequences in terms of growth will be relatively small, and the consequence in terms of inflation will be more significant but relatively weak. So for the Eurozone, imported prices will be weaker, essentially because commodity prices are in dollar terms. So it's good news in terms of inflation for the Eurozone. Fundamentals are positively oriented. On a global basis, economic growth is accelerating somewhat, and it is synchronized, which is the first time in this economic cycle. Except in the UK, eventually, where growth is a little slower than previously. Inflation is not an issue anymore. It's not changing significantly. Maybe we will have a little lower inflation in the Eurozone, a little more inflation in the US, but no dramatic changes. The corporate sector continues to deliver strong earnings growth. This is valid for this year and also for next year, where we expect high single-digit growth on a global basis. The fact that the corporate sector is in a good health is a strong supportive factor for stock markets. And so this is one of the reasons why we continue to be optimistic for the long term, for the medium term. However, for the short run, we stick to our cautious neutral position because we believe that the markets are already anticipating a lot of good news. What I'm saying about fundamentals is well known. And we have important news to digest in terms of monetary policy. Both the Fed and the ECB will announce important news. We expect also some decisions in terms of fiscal policy in the US, and we also need to digest the North Korean risk. Thank you for your attention.